The child Sheikh Hamdan visits in secret. His wife has never met her, she exists. That is the starting point and the most important fact in this story. Not as a rumor. Not as the kind of speculation that surrounds powerful men and their private lives, and that is usually impossible to confirm or deny because the people with the information have every reason to manage it into ambiguity. As a real person, a child, growing up right now in a specific place, with a specific face and a specific name and a specific daily life that has its own texture and its own rhythms and its own small ordinary details that have nothing to do with the palace or the official story or the carefully managed image of the Crown Prince of Dubai. She is real, and her father visits her in secret, on a schedule that the official life does not acknowledge and that the palace management has never confirmed. And his wife, the woman whose name appears in the official announcements, who carries the title, who has occupied the position of Sheikh Hamdan's official partner since the arranged marriage was formalized in 2019, has never met her. The visits are not casual. That is the detail that the people who know about this chapter of his life consistently emphasize when they speak about it. He does not visit the way a man visits an obligation, with the specific quality of someone who is fulfilling a requirement that the circumstances have placed on them. He visits the way a father visits a child he loves and does not get to see with the frequency that the love requires, with the specific urgency of someone for whom the time of the visit is never long enough, and who arrives already aware of that, and who makes use of every hour of the time that is available with a presence that is different from the managed, composed official presence that characterizes every other hour of his visible life. She knows him. That is what the people who have seen the visits describe as the most affecting detail of what the visits look like from the outside. She knows him in the specific way that children know the people who are genuinely present in their lives, not with the awareness of his title or his position or any of the things that make him significant to the millions of people who follow his public life, but with the easy familiarity of a child who is simply glad that her father is there. She runs to him. She talks to him in the direct, uncensored way that children talk to the people they feel completely safe with. She shows him things. The ordinary things of a child's life, a drawing, a toy, something she learned at school, with the specific confidence of someone who knows that the person she is showing them to is going to find them as significant as she finds them. She knows him. And the knowing is the most private and most real thing that exists in his official life. His wife has never met her. The specific impossibility of that fact, a child who is his child, growing up in the world, known to a small circle of people who are aware of the full shape of his private life, being visited by her father with the regularity of a committed parent, has never been introduced to the woman who is officially his wife, not because an introduction would not be practically possible. In a world where the official wife and the private child both exist within the general geography of his life, an introduction could have been arranged at any point if the people managing the official story had decided it was the right configuration. It has not been decided. The official world and the private child exist in specific, carefully maintained separation. The wife has one version of the life, the child has another. And the wall between them, built and maintained by the management that has always kept the private world and the official one from touching, has never permitted the two of them to be in the same space at the same time. She does not know who her father is in the public sense. Or rather, she knows in whatever age appropriate, carefully considered form the mother has chosen to share it, that her father is a significant person. But the significance does not define the visits the way it defines everything else in his official life. The visits are not about the title or the position or any of the things that make him significant to the rest of the world. They are about the specific ordinary fact of a father who comes to see his child, who sits on the floor, who listens to the things she wants to tell him, who is present in the way that presence means something to a small person who has learned to value the specific hours when the person they love arrives. He carries her between visits. That is the phrase that people who know him well use when they talk about the periods between the secret visits. He carries her in the way that parents carry children they love and do not see enough. In the active, ongoing interior way of someone for whom the child is never absent from the thinking even when the child is absent from the physical space. She is in his poetry, in whatever way a child who cannot be named and who exists in a world the official story does not acknowledge can be in a poem, in the tenderness that appears in certain passages, in the specific quality of the love that is different from the romantic longing that characterizes most of his work. The love of a parent for a child is different from every other love. It reads differently in language. It appears in his work to the people who know enough of the context to recognize it. His wife does not know the visits are happening with the regularity they are happening at, or she does not know the full detail of them, or she knows enough to carry her own form of the weight without having access to the complete picture. The specific level of her knowing is something that belongs to her and that the official story has never addressed directly. What is clear is that the child and the wife have never been in the same room, have never been introduced, have never had their parallel existences acknowledged simultaneously by the official story. The child is real, the wife is real, and the man who is the connection between them moves between both worlds, visiting one in secret, living alongside the other in official visibility, carrying the specific weight of a person who has two real things in his life that the official story has decided cannot acknowledge each other. She is growing up, getting older, becoming a person whose relationship to the truth of her own origins is going to become more complex as the complexity that a growing person can hold becomes greater. She will have questions. She may already have questions that the mother is managing in whatever careful, loving way a mother manages the kids of a child whose circumstances are not simple. And one day, not today, not soon perhaps, but one day, the child and the official story of her father are going to have to find a way to exist in relation to each other that is more honest than the careful separation that the management has maintained until now. Until that day, the visits continue, in secret, in the specific private space that has always been the only space in his life where the things that are most real have been permitted to happen. He goes to her, she knows him, and his wife, in the official life that has never made room for this specific reality, has never met her. Subscribe to this channel and hit the bell. Every week I bring you the real story of Sheikh Hamdan, the children who are visited in secret, the wives who have never met them, and the truth about the two worlds that a man carries when the official one and the real one have never been allowed to see each other.